Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's bright and early. Daily discipline. Mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through Sunday. Let's get into our study group for warriors. My hardcore heads. Some of you guys just want to sleep. Go sleep. Some of us are up. We're doing it. Moving forward, leveling up. Becoming stronger, better versions of ourselves. If you want to get on my schedule for coaching and mentoring, go to my website, skyazrael.com. You can go check me out on Facebook or Instagram also. Just search my name. Let's get into it. Basically on Sunday, if you're new to the channel, welcome, but basically this is how we get down. I just go through my notes, the stuff that I've studied, give my hardcore head something extra to think about. That's really the only purpose of this. Give you something to ponder for Sunday. So I got lots to talk about. We'll see if we get through half of it. We did some alien UFO news yesterday. If we find that aliens have visited Earth, does that prove panspermia and dispute all of religion? So it really seems like that the scientific community that's chasing aliens, that's so fascinated with UFOs and aliens, are also predominantly atheists. And the ancient alien crowd, who is fascinated with this idea of ancient aliens, and that is taken over like a religion, that they're also atheists who want to disprove religion. So they can say, see, Jesus was an alien. See, God was an alien. There is no God. That's the point. I just heard a scientist in a documentary I was watching the other day as I was doing some research for the UFO news. And he said just that. And he was talking about if we find that aliens have been coming to the planet Earth, this will change everything. It'll change all of religion and society. But why? Why is that the goal? Why do people go right there? Why can't people think that, well, maybe there is a God, and if God created man, he also most likely created Martians also, created the whole universe. I mean, it says in the Bible, God created heaven and earth, and that means everything. But I don't know. I've just noticed this thread, because I watch a lot of this crap, and I've noticed this strong thread of atheism, anti-religion, and a real hatred, like an agenda of trying to tear down God through the theory of aliens and UFOs. And I find that interesting. So we talked about porn the other day, and I had a rather strong opinion that offended some of you. I had someone send me a message on Facebook, really just kind of going off on my extremist views on porn. So you can't only blame men for what's happening right now. I believe porn is destroying our civilization, it's destroying men. Porn is harmful to men. But you can't only blame men for looking at it, because what are they looking at? A bunch of women. The women who create the porn are a bunch of evil succubus. In fact, who was it that was talking about this? Oh, I forget, but they said in the conversation that the women who make porn, and OnlyFans chicks, and any other women who make pornography, who are engaged in it, they are not women. They're evil demons. They're not women. You're not jacking off to a woman. You're jacking off to a demon. You thought I was going to get softer on my porn opinion. I took it to another level, didn't I? I'm going to get another hate email from that dude, I bet. Here's a weird statement. Let's figure this out together. You want to consume what you can't have and idolize. So I guess we have to start from the back and move forward with this one. So when you idolize something, oftentimes that sets a relationship of wanting. The Buddhists talk about this. What you want, you can't have, because there's this dilemma with wanting. You're never satisfied. You always want. It's an insatiable pursuit, the act of wanting. So when you idolize something, isn't it something that you want? You idolize a person. You want to be like them. You want their life. And as long as you idolize that person, you're making idols. It's a false god, and you know very well, you know damn well you're not God. And when you put someone above you, you've instantly put yourself below them, and you create this chase. And people can be so hungry with chasing their idols, chasing what they idolize. You might idolize wealth, you might idolize sex, you might have all kinds of false idols. You become like Gollum. And you want to completely consume, like a dope head. And let's move to the next one. Here's an interesting idea. I've been thinking about atheism. I used to be a big-time atheist, and now I'm not, and I've thought about that a lot. Why? And what's the deal with atheism? What drove me to atheism? I know what drove me to religion, but what drove me to atheism? Well, atheists desperately latch on to or design systems that recreate what religion does. But then they go and mock and bash religion and God. I used to absolutely do that. It makes you a hypocrite, or evil, or an evil hypocrite, one or the other. Let's go on to the next one. Social media destroys your attention span. Put your phone down. That's hard for me because I've been on my phone a lot these days. As I've been doing more and more coaching and mentoring, I've had to have more of an online footprint. You know, I had very little of an online footprint prior to 2020. I mean, I've had my company, and I've always promoted my motorcycle shop, Sinister City Motorcycles, but my personal social media, I got rid of that probably 2014, 2015. Oddly enough, nobody even noticed. I deleted Facebook, I deleted Instagram, I deleted Twitter. Not a single person even noticed. But then when COVID hit and whatever, I started things back up. I started doing this coaching and mentoring, and I needed to have an online footprint, and I started all my social media back up, and I find myself on that crap way too much, and I don't like it. So I had to remind myself, put your phone down. Be in the world. Here's a question. Are you a part of your environment? Did you grow up as a product of your environment? Is that all you are? Is just a product of your environment? Who are you? And then you go and tell me this traumatic past that's brought you to this point. You're just a thug from Brooklyn. That's all you ever were. I have a buddy of mine who identifies that way. I'm just some shithead from the barrio, and I've been telling myself that for many years. Well, you might need to fight against the world you grew up in. Take control of who you are. Be the person that you've always wanted to be. Here's a little bit of advice. Go to the next one. Happiness doesn't come from others. If you think other people make you happy, or if you would only be happy if you just found that right person, you're wrong. Happiness doesn't come from others. If you're depressed now, you'll be depressed with someone else. Oh, I could give you your dream girl, this little fantasy woman that you have. with my magic wand, and bam, there we go, and she loves you. But you're still not happy. Why? Because happiness doesn't come from other people. They can't dole it out to you. You turn into a dopehead. You're chasing vice. You've turned happiness into a vice, into a drug. Give me more, please, please. Put some more on my plate. And these are the types of men that want to continually ask their woman, do you love me? Do you love me? I didn't hear you say it back. Do you still love me? You need that constant pat on the head. That attaboy. Happiness doesn't come from others. Happiness comes from within. You create happiness. Here's a question. We gotta start with a premise, but the question comes after. So your house, your mind is a house of spirits. All right? Your mind is like a haunted house, full of spirits, full of ghosts. Who's in control? Is anyone in control? Is your mind an out-of-control house of spirits? It may be hard to get rid of all the demons in your head. I know it's been hard for me. But this is well-studied stuff, and everyone from Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, even Jordan Peterson talks about this. You need to control the demons. Control them. Here's a little bit of info that I thought was interesting. Some of you youngsters don't remember the AIDS virus, but people my age do. That shit was scary. Oh my God. AIDS was scary. Took Eazy-E and other famous people. May have taken someone that you know. Uncurable. You get it through having sex. Well, the sexual liberation of the 60s and 70s, remember them? The hippies, free love and all that? Some of you love that idea. We went from a rather conservative society that my grandparents created, the World War II generation, the greatest generation as they're called. And then the hippies came along and changed the world. Free love. Well, what did free love get us? It got us AIDS. The sexual liberation of the 60s and 70s from the hedonist, postmodernist hippies created the AIDS virus. Thanks a lot. This one's kind of tough. We might have to end with this one. I don't know how much time we have left. I should have done the whole video on just this, I guess. I got this from an Alan Watts talk, and Alan Watts is a philosopher. I've enjoyed him for 20 years. And he does have self-criticism, and he critiques people who are chasing enlightenment. Now he teaches that, or he's dead. I can't talk about him in the present tense. He taught that. This idea that we have a higher self and that you should cultivate your higher self, and that, you know, a kind of a personal nirvana could be found in that cultivation. This is what the Shaolin monks and many others are all about. Well, is the higher self just your own ego? If you think about it, it is possible. You become enlightened. You get all into reading these books and learning all this information, and you're meditating and you're praying and you have a connection with God, and you're studying philosophy and all these different things. You're getting healthier physically, mentally. You're on the Mind, Body, and Soul program that I coach and mentor and that I live. But is that, according to Alan Watts, it's just a question, is that really just your own ego? Aren't we just fooling ourselves with this crap? I mean, I like to think, no, this stuff is meaningful. It saved my life, but you have to be self-critical. You have to question things. Does this make us worse than ordinary people, where we go around criticizing everyone, thinking that we're better than everyone? Oh, I'm so much healthier than you. I'm so much more enlightened than you. I'm going to have a sure path to heaven and you're not. Oh, and we judge people. I'm so much more moral and virtuous than you are. I live such a better lifestyle than you. You sit around jacking off, playing video games all day, getting high. And I'm doing my Mind, Body, and Soul program. Oh, I'm so great. I'm so great. We pat ourselves on the back. How many of you have a big bruise on your back from how hard you've pat yourself because of this? You know, it's interesting that gurus, people who run these programs, gurus, they all hate each other. And they all talk shit about each other. Isn't that weird? Well, Alan Watts talks about this, where Two thieves who meet each other along the path don't need an introduction. They recognize each other instantly. They will just smile and nod as they pass. And I can tell you from being a former gangster and a former thief, that's absolutely true. These gurus are a bunch of shysters. Now, I think the important aspect with this is just to keep yourself in check. I don't think that cultivating your higher self is a useless adventure. I think that's important. But when you let yourself get out of control with it, and you get all judgmental on people, then yeah, it can be out of control. And we'll end it off here. Here's the next one, but I think it's relevant. Alan Watts also talked about the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Kind of in this context of this enlightened individual who's done all this work on self, who goes around trying to help everybody, that your good intentions are really harmful. It's like a monkey saving a fish by putting it up in a tree. It's a funny image. Have a good Sunday.